Hi guys, Paul here at Paul Phillips Fix. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, thanks for joining me. If you're a return viewer, thank you for your dedication to the channel. If you would please give a like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. It shows YouTube somebody's watching, and without that, you get buried into the netherworld of videos that never get seen. That's it. So I got a 02 Audi A4 Quattro with a 3.0 in it, non-turbo. The brake calipers are frozen. The boots around the cylinder were torn and some moisture got in, and the cylinders are frozen, so the brakes wind up staying locked on. I can't retract them. These, you can't compress the piston. You have to use a special brake tool to turn the piston in and crank it back in, as the emergency brake keeps clicking it as it's applied. So in a perfect world, you just switch out the calipers. But before I get into that, I'm going to tell you another thing that's going to save you time. To take the wheels off, you're going to need a 17 mil impact socket, preferably. Hopefully you have air tools. It makes it easier. If you're familiar with this car, you know it does not have lug nuts. It has lug bolts. So it's hard to get a wheel on if you got nothing to hang it on. So I suggest you get one of these. It's a M14 by 1.5 thread pitch. M14 by 1.5 thread pitch. It's a wheel hanger stud. You should have one of these in the trunk in case you get a flat tire. It'll be easier to get the tire back on and get back on your way. So just something I wanted to mention to you. I'll see if I can put a link for this in the video description. Oh, I'm an Amazon affiliate. I put links to tools that I use and like in the video description, and if you buy from those links at no added cost to you, you will help support the channel, as Amazon kicks a little bit back. It does take money, time, and effort to run a YouTube channel. So to get the calipers off, you're going to need a 13 mil wrench. You can't get in here with a socket, and a 15 mil wrench to hold the retainer right here if it tries to spin on you, if the bolt spins it. So in a perfect world, there's a little clip here on the parking brake cable that retains the cable on there. In a perfect world, this just pops right off. In the real world, especially in upstate New York where there's road salt used all the time, things get frozen on. I pulled on this with a hose plier. I'll show you what they look like. They come in real handy for weird things. Other than just pulling hoses off, they're great for getting a lot of connectors off in strange places where it's hard to maneuver. So they come in 3 different sizes. I'll also try to put a link in for these in the video description. These are great for getting on like the edge of that and pulling to release that clip. So I pulled, and the rim around the clip came off, and the remainder of the clip was completely frozen, like it was welded to the base metal. So I had to chisel it off. So I just sharpened up a chisel. It's right over here, and I'm going to try to give that a couple of taps and see if I can free that up. This is supposed to be a real easy, simple 1, 2, 3 job, but sometimes things don't go 1, 2, 3. You're going to want a hose clamp plier if you can. If you're changing your caliper out, put a hose clamp plier on your brake line. It'll keep you from losing too much fluid. And you just clamp that on there. It's got a little clip that makes it stay. And then you can change out the banjo bolt and remove that clip. I'm going to see if I can free this up. I soaked it with PB Blaster. I believe this clip is frozen on here like the other one was. It's probably going to break. I'm going to have to peel it off. I have a neutral density filter on this camera. I'm hoping it doesn't come out too dark for you to see in post-production. I'll try to lighten it up. So you can just get around on the edge of that clip and pull with this. Yeah, this is frozen on here again. Another one completely frozen on there. That's completely frozen on there. Everything I've done on this car has turned out to be a major pain in the ass. Like I said, if you live in a salt belt state, you know what I'm talking about. Things do not come apart easily. Looks like it's got two clips on here. Looks like part of a clip is there, and the clip. It's very strange. I'm waiting forever for two clips to come in the mail. I figured if I let this soak for a few days, I might get lucky and it would free up, but... Alright guys, I kept whacking this with the chisel. I got it to spin a little bit, but it still does not want to come off. I'm going to try to get under this lip over here and peel that up and get it off. Like to try to rotate it around, that way I could push it off, where I could get leverage on from this angle and push the damn thing out. Fucking retarded this is. Alright, at least I'm getting under it a little bit over here. There we go. Getting underneath it. Getting under this edge with the screwdriver. Try to get the edge of that with my hose pliers. Try to get a regular needle nose now, or a bent needle nose, and see if I can get on that and peel that off. stubborn little bastard. Trying to rotate the clip. I don't want to damage the cable. She's starting to move now. Starting to come off. This is supposed to be 1, 2, 3, guys, and you're done. It's not happening that way. Can't get on the lip of that. You know what I'm going to try? I'm going to try a pair of linesman's pliers. I may be able to get a good enough bite on this to peel that back. Let me get a pair of lineman's pliers. Guys, I'm getting on here with a pair of Klein lineman's pliers. And I'm moving it. There we go. That's the big pain in the ass. That stupid little clip. Alright, that's out of the way. Now what you're going to do is depress this. I'll show you in a second. You got to take the ball out on the steering cable, on the parking cable, I mean. Press that spring a little bit there. Get a screwdriver, work that ball out of there. There you go. I don't know if you could see what I did. Got in there with a screwdriver and I lifted the ball up. Now you lift the cable out of there. Move the cable out of the way. Let that spring go again. Now we're going to get a 13 mil wrench on here and here and remove the caliper. And I'm going to get a hose clamp plier for the brake hose. I went to try to just crack free the banjo bolt. That's the bolt that holds the brake hose to the caliper. I wanted to do that while it's fastened to the car. They're pretty beat up from the road salt as well. I got on it with a 13 mil 12-sided wrench. I didn't want to force it too hard and round out that bolt at all. I'll probably get on there with a 6-sided socket. But I'm adding some of my own special penetrating oil on here. You can buy one of these dispensers. You fill it up. It's got a Schrader valve like a car tire. You fill it up with compressed air. You open it, put whatever fluid you want in it, and then it has a sprayer nozzle. You can set it to a mist or a stream. People have tested this. You can cross-reference it on YouTube. There's loads of videos. You take a mix, a 50-50 mix of automatic transmission fluid and acetone. The acetone thins it down so it can seep in where you want it. And the automatic transmission fluid is good for breaking down the rust. And it's got loads of detergents and stuff in it. It works better than PB Blaster, Croyle, Liquid Wrench, the whole lot of them. They tested it. I've been using it. I've had wonderful success with it. I think it's the best penetrating oil I've ever used. So just something for you to consider. It works better and it's cheaper. So just a little tip for you guys. So I'm gonna let that soak for a minute. Then I'm gonna get on there with a 6-sided socket and just crack them free before I take the caliper off. GoPro, stop recording. Okay guys, I tried to get in there with a regular 13 mil 3/8 drive socket. I tried to get into the banjo bolt, the bolt that holds the rake hose to the caliper, with a swivel socket. I could not get in there with that. I could get in there with a 12-sided wrench, but like I said, it was pretty frozen. I didn't want to round it out by using the 12-sided wrench. So I have these Astro Pneumatic Nano sockets. They're shallow, low profile impact sockets that are great for getting into tight places. So they're 6-sided. So I couldn't fit the ratchet in there, but these sockets are designed to where you can get the socket on, so you have a 6-sided socket on, and you put a 17 mil wrench on the socket. And this is hardened steel. It's impact grade, so that's not going to round out as easy as the bolt would if you tried using an open end wrench or a 12-sided wrench. So these are fantastic sockets. I bought them about a month and a half ago, and I've used them a couple of times. I love them. They're affordable. Astro Pneumatic makes really good tools. I have Astro impact guns. I'll put links for some of them. Oh, actually, I'll put a whole list of Astro tools in the video description. People that do this full-time in the field use Astro tools, and they last them for many, many years. I haven't had an Astro tool fail me yet, and I've had them for quite a while. So they're made in Taiwan. From my experience, Taiwan seems to have better grade stuff than mainland China, better quality materials and workmanship on their products. So if you're going to buy some tools, if you're looking for Chinesium cheap tools, go with something made from Taiwan. You're going to wind up with a better grade tool usually. So I'll put a link for these. They worked here. They bailed me out. If I was having a hard time getting that loose with the caliper mounted to the car, it wouldn't have been easy in my hands. So I'm going to do the same scenario on the other side now. I let that transmission fluid sit on there for a few minutes to soak in, and we got them loose. Well, we got one of them loose. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I don't want to open my mouth before I'm done without breaking a banjo bolt. I just wanted to tell you something. If you're having a hard time getting the 6-sided socket on there from corrosion, take a 12-sided wrench, 13 mil. If you can't get that on a 14 mil, just go back and forth a little bit with it, and it should break some of the corrosion off of there, the rust. Just use a 12-sided wrench. Don't try to loosen it full strength because you'll round it out, but just to break that rust free. All right, it works. Okay, to get the caliper off, put a 15 mil in here to hold this from spinning. Can't see. Working in an awkward position. I'm trying not to get in the damn way of the camera, and it's not easy. I'm going to put never seize on these bolts, aluminum never seize. You can use aluminum or copper never seize. I prefer copper, but I have aluminum on hand, so I'm going to use that. They both work. These bolts are the same, top and bottom. You don't have to go gorilla with these when you tighten them up. You got new boots with the calipers. Don't forget to grease your caliper pins. Should have some lube. I think I'm going to use Permatex Extreme Brake Lube, Ceramic Extreme Brake Lube. I prefer that. I have tried a bunch of different brake lubricants. This is my favorite right here. I'll show it to you. Permatex Ceramic Extreme Brake Parts Lubricant. That's my favorite right there. And then this is what I'm using here. I'll put links for these in the video description. Permatex Anti-Seize Lubricant, aluminum. I will also put the copper. I prefer the copper. It's just a couple of more bucks, but they both work. The aluminum will work for an application like this. So we've got those bolts out. Gonna get the caliper off. The other caliper was totally seized. The boot was gone on it, so we're not going to take a chance with this one. If one of them's going, the other one's on its way out. I always change both sides. This is brakes we're talking about. Kind of important, you know. So your parking brake cable will come out of there. I'm going to leave that hanging there. That's not too heavy where it's going to hurt the brake line. With steel calipers, I will not let them hang on the brake line. I'll use a bungee cord or my S hooks, but these are aluminum. They're pretty light and they're not going to hurt that line. So we're going to get these pads out. I have a file. I'll clean up this brake bracket. So what happened, here the backing plates coming off of this one, is I believe we went with brake parts from the store, and the brake material separated right off of the backing plate, and it's steel to steel on the other side, and it's scored up the rotor, but it is not destroyed, just a little scored up. Oh, actually, you might be able to get this rotor off with that brake bracket on there. You can, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. If he needs to replace that rotor, that's a good thing, because the other side, the brake bracket, the bolt is frozen in there. I tried everything in my power to get it out. I did everything except put heat on it. I can't put heat on it because of the CV boot. I would burn it. I would need one of those induction heaters. I don't have one of them. I wish I did. They're a great tool. Those are like $400 to $600, I believe. But they're a great tool. You can heat something without getting anything else hot in the area. It does it by electric induction. These pads are trash. I went with a good quality name brand brake pad for this application. I will show them to you and give you the part number. I went with Hila Pajid calipers. Hila Pajid. I like this brand. The part number for the right side is, it has two numbers here, AN8368, AN8368, then it has 8AN355783-681. That's 8, A as in Alfred, N as in Nancy, 355-783-681. I believe the AN8368 is the number for the right side. You can get these at rockauto.com. And the brake pads are Hila Pajid again. Like this brand, these are ceramic brake pads. Part number is, Rock Auto sent me the wrong brake pads for this car, guys, so disregard my information on the brake pads. They do not fit this car. 355-017-951. 8DB 355-017-951. I think the T5056 is the number you need. Right, so I'm going to clean this up some, guys. I'm going to get these rubber boots off, put the new boots on, and lube the pins up and put them in. I'll film that as I'm set up for that. I just want to clean this up now. All right, we'll be back. Make sure that lube gets all over it. Sure that they move freely. Now we're going to need our 13mm wrench. Going to remove that banjo bolt there on the other rotor, on the other caliper. I'm sorry. I'm old and senile. I can't speak English anymore, guys. You got to forgive me. Take note of the position of the hose. There's a pin there that you have to line up to. You're going to lose a little bit of brake fluid. It shouldn't be that much if you have the hose clamp on there. Be sure that your crush washer is off. Clean up the surface well. Don't want any debris on there. It looks like my crush washer might be stuck to this one. I only had one crush washer come off, and it's not stuck to my banjo bolt. Just want to check this, guys. Yeah, it's not a crush washer. Just want to make sure I don't have a crush washer stuck on here. I did have a crush washer stuck on there. See that? Couldn't even tell it was on there. Make sure you remove both crush washers, guys, or you will have a leak. I gotta block the camera. I gotta see what I'm doing, guys. I can't worry about the shot here. I'm trying to line up my banjo bolts. I mean my crush washers, so I get my banjo bolt through there. Be careful not to get any brake fluid on your brake pads. Snug that down so it's firm. Don't go absolutely crazy with it, but you want to get it tight enough that you depress those crush washers to make a tight seal. I'm opening my line up now. I'm probably going to gravity bleed this a little bit. That's after reassembly. I will just let gravity bleed some of the brake fluid out. Now you're going to want to put a little bit of that brake lubricant on your cup where it's going to contact the back of the brake pad. and those fingers on the caliper where they're going to contact the brake pad. You want a little bit of lubricant in those two areas, actually those three areas, so you don't get squealing when you apply the brakes. You don't have to go crazy. Be careful not to damage your boots. Push them in. Oh, they give us new bolts, huh? That's nice. I'm gonna put a little aluminum never seize on the caliper bolts. Some people will freak out over this. Oh my God, never seize on brake component parts. I've been doing it for years. I've never had an issue. Never, ever. No issue. If it's torqued properly, it'll hold fine. Don't forget to run your emergency brake through there, your brake cable. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to pull that up in there like that. I'm going to have to do this before I put this on the car. That's going to be an issue. And I don't have the clips for that. Okay guys, so what I did is I took the rotor. I'm gonna put a link for this brake file in the video, and I'll probably add it to the description list as well. This is a German tool, Mueller Coops, M-U-E-L-L-E-R is the first name, and then the second name is K-U-E-P-S. So you take your brake file and you want to file out any of the rust jacking where those pads ride. A lot of people put brake parts lubricant in here. That is not a good idea, because all the road grime and the brake dust and stuff sticks to the lubricant in this area, and it gets gummed up and craps it up even worse. So you just want to clean the rust jacking off and it'll be fine. The pad moving back and forth there will keep it clean. So just file them out, and then you're going to do the pins. I like to buy good quality files. You buy junk, you're going to get what you pay for. You're going to get junk. And you're going to get junk results. This is actually a little aggressive. Takes that rust right out. If you take a wire brush, even a power wire brush, all you're doing is shining the rust. You got to get that off of there. You got to get down in the metal. you're going to do a brake job, do it proper. And we're done with that. We're taking our little rubber boots off. I believe we have new pins with the new rotor. Does not matter which way you put these rubber with these little rubber bellows on here. They're the same on both sides. Make sure your pins flow nice and smoothly. If they're corroded in there and moisture got in, you could take a drill bit the same size as that and run it in and out real easily. Don't go making the hole bigger because it'll bind up. I'm going to put a little bit of lube right in here. You don't want to go crazy with this either, because you put too much, it'll get like a vacuum and it'll get jammed up. So don't go crazy. I'm actually going to run it in with the pin. I don't want to get any of this outside debris inside there, so I'm going to get my pins and run it in. I'm kind of load up the front of my pin. And just shove it in there. Get a little lube inside. And do the same thing on the top. I'll load up my pin a little bit and run it in there. Then you got more than enough lube there. Make sure you don't get debris on that pin after you get the lubricant on there. Make sure you push your boot on so it goes over that little lip. Want to make sure they're on there all the way so you have a watertight seal there. Could get a little lube on the edge of the boot, it might help it go on. Might have to rotate a little bit. This one's being a little stubborn. There we go, they're on. I'll load the pads on now. Helps if I put the rotor on, huh? Duh. You may want to put a little never seize behind your rotor so it doesn't stick to the hub. I'm going to do that right now. Don't go crazy, just a little bit will do. Light glazing on the hub. You don't want to put so much that it's going to get hot and run down and get on the rotor. So put a little glazing of the aluminum never seize on your hub. That way your rotor will not get stuck to it, and you can put some on the face of the rotor where the wheel mounts as well, and your wheels won't get stuck to your rotor. Make sure your hands are clean when you're handling the brake pads. Got to remove that plastic plug where the banjo screw is going to go. There are 2 crush washers enclosed in here. One goes on both sides of that plate. One to the rotor face, one to the other side of the banjo bolt, and those crush washers will make a oil tight seal. You can put your pins in now. Again, get the boot to seat on the pin. I'll put a little bit more lube on this pin because this is not the pin that I used to run the other one in and out with. Again, I'm not going crazy with it. You don't have to go nuts. Can run the pin in and out a little bit. I didn't notice it, but I got the wrong brake pads. They sent me the wrong damn brake pads. Everything with this car has been in production. I've said that. Makes me sick. I'm gonna have to go to the store and get brake pads now. I'm making sure I bring one of the old pads with me to make sure I got the right ones. Oh, motherfucker. Oh, now what? Wendy?
Yeah?
They sent me the wrong brake pads. Nope. Always something, right? Never ends. With this car, it never ends. Well, guys, I got the wrong brake pads. I'm gonna have to bring a set of these with me to the store to make sure I get the right ones. I'm so sick of this car. I want it out of my driveway already. I can't take it anymore. Everything has been in production. It's driving me nuts now. It's not even funny. So, pissed off. So I'm gonna put the other caliper on. That's how you do it, guys. After you do that, you can gravity bleed it a little bit if you want. Just crack the bleeder valve. Put something under it to catch the brake fluid when it starts to drip. Then you can start doing bleeding. Pump the brake pedal, hold it, crack the valve, the bleeder valve. Keep doing that until you get no air out of it. Then make sure after you're done that you pump your brake pedal up till it gets hard again, because you won't have any brakes otherwise when you start your car. Alright guys, I hope this video was useful to somebody. So I'm gonna go do the other side and go get some damn pads. Alright, thanks for watching. Please support the channel with those links I gave you guys. It's at no added cost to you. I would greatly appreciate that. And give a like and subscribe. Thank you. Take good care of your cars, guys. They'll take good care of you. Take good care of the ones you love and your families, and take good care of yourselves. Stay safe out there. See you soon. Bye bye. GoPro, stop recording.